Welcome to our presentation of Photocation. For our midterm project, Martin and I built this mock-up of a camera that aims at teaching you physical photography education. Mainly the three settings of aperture, the ISO and the shutter speed. We created three different kind of tokens that help you to memorize the settings and also the way or the underlying physics, how photography works. We have aperture rings that are made out of black cardboard. For example, this is the f1.4 aperture. It has a very big opening, a very big hole where a lot of light is able to travel through, versus another aperture ring, f11, where very little light comes through. And the tutorials will teach you how to use those apertures and what effect they have. Then we have different ISO cylinders, plastic cylinders, that have a different coating material. This coating material is sandpaper of different granularity. The ISO 100 is a very smooth sandpaper, more or less, which resembles tiny silver particles used in analog films that create a very smooth or very good picture quality. On the other hand, or the other extreme, we created the ISO 1600, which has a very rough surface. It's a lot more light intense, but the picture quality is worse than compared to ISO 100. Last but not least, we have the element of a shutter speed, which can be controlled using this turning knob here, where you can turn from the turtle, the very slow turtle, to the fast rabbit. Now this installation is connected to a tutorial selector, more or less. We are right now in the help and info mode, where you can read about our tokens, and I will now guide you through the aperture tutorial. So I go through the aperture to the aperture tutorial, and it says welcome to the aperture tutorial. This tutorial will teach you how to change your aperture and how that affects the focal length of your camera. Actually, I can start using the suggested apertures on the left, and then I can experiment around. So it tells me that I should insert the f1.4 aperture. So I do that, and I place it in. Currently, oh, that was the wrong one, sorry. It was the 1.4, so 1.4. And it detects 1.4, displays a picture where you can actually see that the California Berkeley cup is very sharp, but the rest blurs away quickly. Now, it would be interesting to see how changing the aperture actually affects the focal length, as this tutorial tries to show you. Now, I get this aperture ring out and put the 5.6 in, the next one, and we can see the same picture again, California Berkeley sharp, and you can actually now read that there's the California Lonely Planet lying on the table as well, and there's another book which you cannot read yet because it's still blurred away. Now let's see how this changes if we use the f11 aperture. I insert that one, and now we see that compared to the f1.4 aperture, the focal length has increased significantly. What happens now if I change my ISO? I take out the ISO 400 and put in the more light intense ISO 1600, and once it is detected, you see that the picture is overexposed. So I have to control with the shutter speed for lower exposure time to get the picture more or less perfect again. This is one of the tutorials that we created. The rest will teach you how to use ISO and shutter speed, and eventually we will upgrade this mock-up by using memory tokens, and also connect it to a real Canon digital SLR using the Canon SDK. So much for now, stay tuned for an update, and thank you very much.